Hi, it's Mike Ryan. I want to talk today about boards and what, especially from, I guess, setting them up and what is the value and the purpose of boards. Just as some background, I've been on board of directors, both for-profit, not-for-profit, charity, and public boards and private companies since I was 19 years old. And over that 25 plus years, have learned a few tricks and insights and some of the values that boards bring to a corporation and obviously boards in general, what they do for a company. The board of directors has a fiduciary responsibility for the protection of assets of the company as a generalization, and then also to give some insight as a CEO of a board. Relationships and how that works. It's sometimes a mystery. I know I've been exposed to it all my life. My father actually wrote a book. This will date it. It was done in the 1970s called Boardsmanship for the 80s, and that was a good 30-some years ago. One thing about boards that is important to realize, especially if you're a startup in your growth company. This is not necessarily pertains to the public companies that have a lot of requirements under Sarbanes. And really, you want to look at if you're starting your company and you're getting a board, and that usually includes yourself as the founder, and then perhaps a co-founder or other people that are involved with it. But really, I'm talking about a company that is really starting the growth, and you actually have a structure and have board meetings versus being a little more looser, as they say. So anyway, as a board, usually you want to have them that can provide you support as a founder and maybe supplement the skill sets that you don't have. Ideally, a good board size for at least a startup, my experience, is probably 3 to 5 people. As the organization grows, research has shown the best size boards as far as group dynamics is about 7 to 9. But that's usually for a bigger organization. The other thing is about frequency. How often should you meet? And I think as a growth or startup company, having the resources of board and meeting, either on a bi-monthly, every other month, or monthly basis, whether that's done telephonically or in person, I think is critical to help yourself as a founder and a CEO and making sure you're on track. And some of the tips I really suggest to people is having a good composition of a board that has people that, again, fill in maybe some of the blanks, that are industry experts, that are able to give you some wisdom, some insight, and maybe connections to help your company grow. And so I think having those type of people are important to have on your board, so having a composition that really complements what you do. The other thing is compensation. Typically, a company that is a private company compensate their board of directors usually in the 1 to 2%, maybe higher for a chairman, maybe 2 or 3, or as high as 6%, and that obviously gets diluted over time. But really, that's how board members are usually compensated from that point of view. And I can go into detail in other videos that I do. The question area that is often asked about is, how do you actually work the board meetings and how do they go about? And one thing that's really that I found as a CEO important to communicate with the board chairman and having an executive committee. If you have 3 or 4 people, you really don't need an executive committee. It is usually if you have a larger size organization. But I think the relationship, assuming that you have a chairman role that is separate from the chairman CEO role, then having that person as a guide and a sage and person can provide wisdom to you. But from a mechanical point of view, say you have a board meeting every month or every other month, having the board package that goes out, and what that is really is a snapshot of the company. Where are you? Where are you as far as finance, as far as burn rate, as far as headcount, personnel, as far as penetration into a marketplace, and all the functional areas like marketing, sales, all those type things are important to have. as board agendas, and that you update. Part of that you can do is what you call consent agenda. You look over it, you provide it, and I would recommend either having it in some type of cloud storage area, whether it's a Dropbox or a Box or Google Docs or whatever, so you can have access, or the board can have access to that at least a week before the board meeting. Ideally, to have board meetings face to face, I think is very important. In this day and age, using video conferencing is probably second best. But I think having it face to face always gives you an opportunity to have interaction with your board members before and after, off the record, or just getting to know them better if you don't know them. The other thing is time. I think time management, whether you're meeting with board members on a monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly, I think having respect for the time of the board member is very important. And starting meetings on time and promptly, using TQM or CQI, or whatever term you want to use, as far as facilitating a board meeting efficiently, I think is very important and really speaks well to your organizational skills as an executive. And then finally, one thing that I tell CEOs, and I sit on about 5 or 6 boards at a time, and I think there's a value in that I'm able to bring best practices and maybe some insight and cross-pollination of concepts, ideas, or even connections between the different boards that I sit on. One thing that I think that every CEO should learn, and sometimes learn through the hard way, is don't surprise your board. Don't have any surprises that come up during the board meeting. They don't like them. It's not a good thing to be with. So those are really some key ideas as far as boards and how I've seen boards run over the past 25 plus years as a board member, as the chief executive, as an executive. So hopefully that helps you out, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.